Time records. She on the beat. Hold my waist, my waist, my waist. Oh, roll it, baby, all for you. Hold my waist, my waist, my waist.
Hi T3 gang, it's Uno here with another video, and today we are going to be talking about my postpartum depression experience. We're going to get right into it because I already feel my tears coming on, so don't mind that, guys. But shout out to all the moms out there, all the soon-to-be moms out there, anyone who can relate to me, anyone who is going through this right now. You know, I know it's hard. It's very hard. So I'm just gonna get right into it. Alright guys, so as I stated in my last video, if you haven't watched it, make sure you subscribe and you watch the video before this that I posted on Monday. I kind of told you guys a little bit about Yopo and him being born early. So he was born at 34 weeks. He was premature, and that is when I felt like my postpartum started, like right at that moment. Finding out that I had to give birth early just automatically put me right into a hole, because it was my blood pressure was skyrocketing. It was just so high, you know, and it was the beginning of preeclampsia. So the best option was to give birth early, to make sure that he's safe, you know, and that's exactly what we did. We had to give birth early, and it was hard. It was so hard. I was just stressed about worrying about him, his health, you know, everything, his weight. And thank God that he was 6 pounds and 17 ounces. So he was pretty big for a premature baby. But, you know, I just want to make sure his breathing was okay and all of that. So after I had given birth, I had a C-section because I wasn't dilating. You know, I was super early, so my body was just not taking any of, you know, the medication that they gave me to help me dilate, and it was just not working. So I went ahead and had a C-section, and then right after, they already informed me and they prepped me and let me know that right after baby was born, I wouldn't be able to hold him, of course, or able to like see him. They had to like rush him over to the NICU just to put him on the respiratory system, just to make sure that his lungs were able to breathe on their own, you know, or if he needed assistance, the machine would help him. So right when I gave birth, when he was born, they literally just like ran past me and just like showed me his face, and like they went off to take him to the NICU, and I was just like, he's beautiful. Like that was my first thought, like, oh my, okay, you know, I want to hear him crying. I heard him cry, I seen his face, and he's just beautiful. And my husband, he was right next to me the whole entire time, making sure that I was okay, because right after I had the procedure, I had an anxiety attack, like immediately, and I was like short of breath. I was cold, I was shivering. They put so many blankets, warm blankets on me, but it was not helping, you know. My body just went into a shock. And then I wasn't able to see him that entire day because my oxygen was just really, really low until the next day. So finally the next day came, and then I was able to see him. But, you know, I feel like that first moment of seeing your baby and having that skin-to-skin connection, I didn't get that chance. You know, I didn't get to hold him. I wasn't the first one to hold him. You know, Dallas was, you know, Dallas got everything first, you know, so that made me feel, you know, that made me feel like, I didn't wear any makeup because I knew this was gonna happen. That just made me feel like I failed already. Like, having him early, having a C-section, not being able to hold him for the first time, like, all of that just triggered me into this deep, dark place, you know. And I've read about postpartum depression before I gave birth, you know, and I just, to myself, I was like, you know, I think I'll be okay. I don't think that it'll happen to me, or I think I'm strong enough to get through it, you know. But I didn't even know that that was just the beginning of something that was gonna just hold me back from being, you know, happy, you know. So finally I get discharged, but unfortunately Yopu had to stay in there for an extra week so they can monitor him and just make sure that he's nippling and he's learning how to eat, because he's still small, you know, and he's still young. So he stayed in, and I went home with Dallas. And first night home, I like cried the whole entire night. Like, I felt like such a bad mom that I was leaving him in there to strangers. Like, people were taking care of my son. You know, Dallas was just letting me know, like, no, he has to be in there where, you know, you just need to get better and you need to relax this week while he's in there, and we'll go there every day. Of course we did. And, you know, so that was like the beginning. And then a few days later, I just broke down and I just told Dallas, okay, I think I know what's going on. You know, I know that this is what's happening, and I just want you to know what's going on. And he's just like, what are you talking about? What's going on? And I just said, I think I have postpartum depression. And it was like, I just said it out. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean depression? You don't have depression? Like, and I just started bawling. I started crying. And I was just like, no, Dallas, I know, like, this, like, I feel so empty. I'm not happy. Like, I feel like a bad mom already. And he's just like, no, like, you don't feel that way. You just miss your son, you know, like, we're gonna go see him tomorrow. You'll be okay. And I told him, no, you really need to listen to me. Like, listen to me. Like, I have this, and I feel myself just getting deeper and deeper. And I told him, you need to read what postpartum depression is. Like, you need to, on your own, like, if I'm telling you and you don't understand or you don't believe me, like, you need to read into this, because this is real, you know. And he's just like, for all the Polynesians out there, before I say this, to all the Polynesians out there, someone's telling us about, you know, in our culture, it's mental health is just such a not talked about subject. It's like, especially depression, like, you know, they're just like, what's that? Like, you don't have depression. Like, there's no such thing as depression. Like, what? Just get out of it. Like, you shouldn't feel that way. Don't feel that way. That is everything that I feel that, you know, culturally we're just so used to having to be strong, having to put up this, like, we're too, like, we don't have feelings, or we can't feel this way, or we shouldn't be feeling this way attitude, that anything that would portray you to be weak is just frowned upon. It's just looked down, you know. And it's not, I feel like it's not our, what should I say, it's not our fault. It's just the culture that we're accustomed, like, just what we're accustomed to. Like, it's just how it is. It's just what it is. Like, we don't, you know, depression is not real, or, you know, you're making it up, or you're being dramatic, or, you know, like, things like that. Those are that's what, like, the feedback, I guess, that you would say you get, you know. And so for my husband, he's just like, no, Like, you don't have that. Like, we don't have that. Some people don't have that. Like, you know, you're okay. Just, you get out of it. You'll get out of it, you know? And so I was just like, I can't. Like, I can't even talk to him about it. So I won't. So I'm not going to talk to him about it, you know? And then a few days went on, and finally bring my son home. And, you know, I'm like, okay, I feel better. I feel like maybe I'm getting happier that he's home. But it started getting hard. It was frustrating, and I just want to feel happy. I just want to be happy, you know, and I'm still not feeling that when he gets home. And, you know, basically just empty, and I was not happy at all. You know, I knew I loved my son. I knew I loved him, of course, but I just felt empty. I had no feelings. When we brought him home, I thought that was going to fill the void that I was feeling the entire time since he was born. I thought it was going to make me happy, but I felt like it just added on to the stress, the frustration, the feeling low, and just not yourself, not myself at all. And, you know, for those of you who feel like depression, postpartum is just not real, it is so real. And my husband was, he didn't not believe in it, me to explain it to him. You know, I just couldn't explain it. I didn't know how to explain it. I didn't know why I was feeling this way. I didn't know what he could do to help me feel better. I didn't know. You know, and so it frustrated him as well, and he just didn't get it, and he was just getting upset with me because he just didn't know why I was feeling this way. And one night he woke me up in the middle of the night, and he gave me a huge hug. Cause I guess he read up on it on his own, you know, just so he can get a better understanding of it and why I was feeling this way. Because he's seen and he knew there was something wrong with me, and it was putting a strain on our marriage because I just wasn't happy. And he hugged me and he told me that he was sorry. You know, that he didn't take the time to read into it, you know, until now. But he knows it's real. He gets it, and he's gonna support me and help me with whatever I needed, you know. And that did give me comfort, but I still felt like that wasn't going to change me overnight. Like, my emotions weren't going to be 100% back to normal. You know, I would just look at my son and I just felt nothing, and that would make me feel even worse, because, you know, you think that you are supposed to feel so happy when you look at your child, you know, especially him being born 6 weeks early. I just blame myself. I blame myself for everything, for him being born early. I wasn't even able to breastfeed. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't producing enough milk. And, you know, it's just so hard. It was just so hard, you know, to do anything right. I feel like I was just doing everything wrong from the beginning. And a few weeks went past, and I just woke up one day and I just felt like a failure. Like, I had all these thoughts in my mind that Yopu would be so much better off without me. Dallas would be so much better off without me. Like, these were all the thoughts in my head, and it was just going around and around until, like, a moment. Like, I haven't shared this actually with anybody, everyone besides my immediate family in my home, you know, who were here when it happened. But to share it with you all, if this can help someone, just one person, you know, who was going through postpartum, you know. I tried to commit suicide, and it was the hardest thing I feel like I put myself and my family through. And that's the exact day that my parents found out, my brothers found out about this whole postpartum. You know, nobody had any idea besides me and Dallas and my sister Ashley, who I had vented. We briefly talked about it one day. We were driving and I had asked her about, you know, if she ever went through it, but we didn't go into detail. We just briefly talked about it, you know. And then that's basically pretty much when it shocked my family, my parents especially, because they're not super old school, you know, but it was something new for them. It was something that they've never heard of. So they were confused. They were just like, what is this? We've never heard of postpartum depression. We don't know what this is, you know. But they were so supportive. I'm so thankful for them because they didn't judge me. They weren't upset. They just wanted to help me, you know. Anything that they could do to help me, they were willing to do for me. And that went with my brothers, my sister-in-laws, everybody in my family, in my immediate family, you know. They were just there willing to help me. And that's when my parents, they were just like, wow, we've never experienced that when my mom had us. But I feel like it goes back to our culture. It's just like, you know, you just deal. Whatever you go through as a mom, that's what you're supposed to go through. And you just do it with a smile, you know. But I feel like our generation now, we're evolving. And it's just so different, you know. Like I was just so frustrated. I just felt like I wasn't doing anything right, and although they were there to help me, I just still wasn't feeling 100%. And I felt like that's what I was taking away from my son. Like, I wanted to feel 100%, so I know I was giving him the best version of myself. What helped me the most was talking about it. You know, if you know me, you know I'm just such a social person. I'm like, I talk to anybody and everybody. You know, I love to make friends. I love to meet new people, and I felt the need to like post what I was going through, you know, not for people to feel sorry for me or anything like that, but just being real. You know, I just had a baby, yes, you know, but this is real life. This is really what I'm going through. I posted about postpartum, and you know, that it was real, and I got so much support through that. You know, so many of my friends, family members reached out to me with their own stories, and you know, and I thought to myself, man, I had no idea they were going through that. Like, because so many people don't like to talk about it. It's just like, feel people are gonna look at them differently, or you know, they're gonna judge them. you know, and that, I feel like that in itself helped me, talking about it and hearing other people's stories and just supporting each other, you know. And it has definitely helped me, you know, emotionally, just speaking about it and, you know, letting people know that it is real. This is real, what moms, new moms, you know, you don't even have to be a brand new mom, any mom goes through. Reaching out to other moms, you know, checking on them, seeing if they're okay, because that definitely goes a long way. You know, I appreciate everybody that has messaged me to check on me, you know, to see how I was doing mentally, you know, because being a first-time mom, it's crazy, you know. And I'm just so thankful for all the help that I've received. My sisters, my sister-in-laws, my mom, you know, they've been so supportive and trying to give me a break any chance they get, so I don't become overwhelmed and just stuck in my room. And that was driving me crazy, because that's exactly what I was doing when he first came home. I wouldn't ask for help, you know, I would just stay in the room and try to figure it out on my own. But, you know, that's my advice to, you know, other moms going through it. You're not alone. There's so many resources of help that you have, you know, seeing a therapist, talking to other people, to being in mom groups, you know, just speaking on it, because it is okay, and moms do go through it. It's not like you just, you know, you're supposed to be happy. No, it doesn't, it's not, that's not real, you know. And for maybe for some moms, yes, you know, but for the moms who do go through postpartum, you are loved. Like, you are so loved. I just want to give a shout out to all the moms out there. You're amazing. You're doing a good job. And any mom that is going through postpartum depression at this moment, just know that you are loved, you are thought about, you are prayed for. And just know, every time you look at that sweet little baby, that baby needs you. You know, so you are not alone. And if you'd like to share your story in the comment section, go ahead. Maybe it'll help another mom out there who's struggling. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe down below. Like, comment, and don't forget to share. We love you, and we'll see you in our next video.
I get to love you. It's the best thing that I'll ever do. I get to love you. It's a promise I'm making to you. Whatever may come, your heart I will choose. Forever I'm yours, forever I do. I get to love